Goldman estimates that China's housing crisis will reduce the country's economic growth by 1.5% this year. Will this spill over to our economy, or will we see an inverse in housing sector for our economy?
I think we're already starting to see it. I put up an interesting stat, I think yesterday, that our debt to income ratio is higher than it was in 2006 and 2007 before the crash. And all that means is, especially with China having an issue, at some point prices will be corrected. But I think the entire population got too greedy in the entire world with these housing prices. And I think everything has been priced unfavorably. Of course, BlackRock and Blackstone had an effect on that. But I think every major country in the world started to factor in their profits more so than the consistency in pricing for the residents who live there. And it's coming back to bite them. Like when you have houses, and remember like in a pandemic, like people were putting in $80,000 over asking. If that isn't a bubble, I don't know what is. But then it starts to happen in London, happen in China's, happen in Mexico City, happen in Australia. You have to find a way to make these homes affordable. And my guy said it back in the day, rent too damn high. The rent's been too damn high for a long time. It's one of the reasons that you have to invest long-term to outpace inflation. But I think we're going to see a mass correction worldwide on these properties. And if not, it's going to cause a contagion level event that is going to really decimate the economy and stock market overall.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Now, if you can find a Chinese stock that is housing based to short, please put it in chat. That will be the move, especially if we're looking at the Fibonacci ratio. If we're gauging from 100 and it went down to 78%, because everything else should be flat. If we can short it down to that 50% or 23.6, we can have a nice win. So kind of like a big short for China's market, if we can find one that is available. I wouldn't necessarily do options on it. I know some of you are going to do that. Maybe if you want to sell options on it, you could, but a pure put would be tough because they may not. Even with the brokers, I'm seeing a lot more brokers in light of what we talked about with my Forex funds and all that. This has been happening before. I've known some people that have had some puts that have been up 400 or 500% and they get liquidated at 150%. You gotta be mindful, like every layer that you go, and I know some people be like, well, man, maybe if Diddy would have did this could have happened with Diageo. Every level, there's a new devil you gotta fight. You think this is over? Like, you think they want all of us congregating, learning financial literacy, talking private equity and VC and all that publicly? Oh, okay, wait till all of y'all get here. We're gonna put up a whole bunch more roadblocks. And it's probably gonna be from people that look like us. So if he's still fighting that battle and Jay's still fighting this battle, Joe Budden asked a question 2 years ago. What is a stream worth on Spotify? Still ain't got an answer.
True. I think that's what makes investing such an interesting thing, because it's faceless for a brokerage. Because it's just a name. It's really just a social security number. But there are going to be parameters, right? Just because you saw you were up 400% doesn't mean that's where you're getting filled at, because every time you buy, somebody has to sell, and every time you sell, there has to be somebody on the other end buying, and so you got to be mindful of that. I'm glad you said that's very important.